Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Canadian Contenders League. I'm McCready, and Cairo is joining me today. We're both British, but that doesn't stop us from wanting to get involved with the best that Canada has to offer. But unfortunately, Cairo, we're not going to be seeing that exactly tonight, are we? There's been a bit of a forfeit with this second set of games as well. Ember Rose deciding that for whatever technical reason they weren't able to play. So that means Niagara Falls are going to get the full 6 points, aren't they?
Yeah, that's great. Obviously great for the standings when we're coming into the final couple of play days. We're trying to confirm who is actually moving through to playoffs. And I mean, with that being the case, that really puts our team that is in 5th place, Niagara Falls, really into contention here coming into the last play day.
Yeah, they're in a very difficult position because the first game was also a forfeit from Not From Here, which Tide Pods, the team in 4th place in that very final playoff spot. Well, they're now still 5 points ahead of Niagara Falls, and because of this, both teams getting 6 points, that gap is still there. And there's 1 week left to play of this kind of group stages at the moment, Cairo, which means for Niagara Falls, they're going to struggle, simply put. They need to get those full 6 points if they really want that shot at qualifying, and Tide Pods need to lose. But before we get too caught up in the future, let's look at today, because what we're doing, Cairo, is we're going to be watching a VOD, because we don't really want to waste too much time, and if you've been waiting to watch some Siege, you probably want to watch it, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. That was just a ghost there closing my door. Apologies, but yeah, we want people to actually enjoy our sultry voices, our sultry tones, and get right into it, Creedy. So I think we'll just have a transition, not from here, being able to play up against, I believe it was Northern Shield, as you said. So this will be quite a good game here on Cafe. Obviously, if you really wanted to spoil everything from yourself, you could go to Wikipedia, but we're not going to do that, Creedy. We are going to get surprised by what's got on the VOD.
Yes. Now, looking at this, Not From Here, that bottom league team at the moment, they are in a very difficult position in the fact of, I believe they only have 2 points or so to their name as of now. But Northern Shield, they've had a really, really good season so far with players like Aggro and Creepery really bringing up the front. And going into Kaf Dostoyevsky, the first map of the two, I feel like Northern Shield on the defense, a lot of advantages, especially with this Flores ban.
Flores is such a useful operator here, Creedy, especially when you think about how, when it comes to breachability, etc. He's really useful for getting rid of the utility on mode, especially when we start to think towards, I'd say, bakery area, you know, that big bakery wall when you're trying to do a flat take. He's been really aiding that out recently, and especially in towards clearing pixel, etc. So him getting banned out is definitely a good option here. From the defenders of Northern Shield. But it looks like we're actually seeing a Goyo banned, and I mean, he's such a strong operator, and funnily enough, we actually don't see him getting banned enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like Goyo has a lot to bring to the table. You're looking at teams that they really like their shield metas, and I feel like on Kaf Dostoyevsky, I'm thinking of examples I've seen myself, Cairo, over towards the EU T4 side, and I'm thinking holds that we're seeing from teams where you have a Goyo shield and Freezer, a Goyo shield over towards Bathroom or Pixel, 2 players behind there. They turn that piano on the top floor into an absolute killing ground, a slaughterhouse. And that is something that I feel the attackers, they want to avoid. They don't want to deal with that. But in doing so, they've left a couple of key operators on the board. One of them, the Maestro, has been teased, has been teased, but 6 picked off in favor of the Frost. But you look at that Mirror and no Flores on the board, you realize that there's a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, plenty of work to be done here as we do decide to go towards the top floor site first. And something that we were having a pre-match chat about today, as we always tend to do, we like to actually talk to each other, is the fact that Cafe, especially in the Russian league, and I believe, I don't know if it was you, Kim, we talked about as well, I can't really remember. No, it was, I think it was just the Russian league. We talked about how the fact that Cafe is actually slightly favouring attackers, and I think there's the region of 55%, and that's really interesting considering, I mean, when it comes to Cafe, we always like it to be very defender-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it's a map where you look at the defense, and the defense definitely set the tone for the game. They are the team that will give the puzzle to the attackers, and the attackers have to work out how to deal with it. Think about it. This is something Jerry's been talking to me quite a bit, Cairo. It's been the fact that nothing happens without it being a direct reaction to the defender's movement. Say, Pixel. You only get into Piano as soon as the defenders decided they don't want to be in Pixel anymore. You only start to begin your vertical play on the bottom floor and look towards that push on the bottom floor as soon as you've dealt with the roamers, if there are any. It's a very defender-sensitive map, and even while in leagues like Russian Major League in T3, while they may be favored towards the attackers, overall it is a very defense-sided map, and with the first minute off the clock, we're kind of seeing why. Not from here, still on the roof, just trying to get the red wall open.
No, they're going to have to get this red wall open as essential for this site here. And we do see Edan actually opening up the scoring, taking out that 0. That's going to be essential for Flank Watch later on. And oh no, I thought that was going to be a problem there. But no, Dan has been put towards that DB&O state. So that piano control is looking a bit easier to regain. But Jaeger running straight into that shield and towards Bathroom Creedy. That's going to be a key position to potentially actually hold down this piano area as we see the gunfights are being taken.
Yes, and with these 2 kills coming out of 4 versus 4 at halfway through the round, and well, North, not from here, they are being very careful. They're watching these flanks. They're making sure that we don't make any missteps. You can't afford to do that, so we're not going to. I feel like Northern Shield, they've already got the advantage. A lot of time has been wasted. Piano control hasn't been taken yet. And a lot of these key positions for the defense you expect to fall quite early haven't happened. Tones will be putting pressure on the bathroom player of Aggro, and the flashbangs will start to apply that pressure. But Aggro, you've got 2 ways out of here, and I'm pretty sure we all know the safe one. Gonna go through all that freezer, rotate back, playing with Hacker. And while Pixel is open, I'm not sure Not From Here are actually aware of that. Some gunfires will be going down, and a little bit of damage there, but Raptor's going to open things up with the first kill, taking White control. Finds Hacker while Aggro gets taken away, but the retake from White. Raymond pushing up, gets another kill to keep that advantage, but Not From Here. 3 players, 2-1. It's all down to Creepery. The R6 man himself will be swinging with the other, looking for the kill, but nothing is there just yet. 20 seconds, spots the player in shop. Can't make it happen. Tones is going to give Not From Here that first round.
Yeah, Not From Here really showing up on this round, and something I want to talk about, Creedy, is the combination with the Lion. All the utility dump happened after that EE1D was scanned, right? And then that puts it that the player that behind any sort of utility or behind that's next to the bun in a really tough spot. They either give away the position and therefore the players can react off that, potentially getting a frag, or he has to stay next to the bun with the inevitability of, say, an ash charge, a frag grenade where he could get taken out. So they're putting the player in a tough spot to saying to them, you know what? Make a decision on what your play is going to be. Tell us what you're going to do, because either way, the players who are doing the attackers in this case, they're going to gain information or map control, and I think that's just a great example of a good way to use Line.
Yeah, and now we're returning to this site, and Not From Here, they haven't really changed anything about the lineup. All those players are the same as they were last round. What do you really expect to be that defining factor? We're returning here and seeing Northern Shield making a couple of adjustments, a bit of play down below, and a mirror window as well. They have brought the mirror this time.
Yeah, mirror can really shut down in towards piano area. It can almost turn it into a kill box. Really, what I would say is about that, if you do bring the mirror, is sometimes what you can expect is actually to almost, how would I put it? It basically concedes Pixel, almost, but really reinforces it in the same sense with these mirror windows, because you're trying to cross into piano, right? And then you turn around and you look and you see this big black thing looking back at you, the mirror window, and you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, oh no. Because everybody knows, as soon as they see the mirror window, you know that something's coming, because nobody knows what's behind it. And if it's, say for instance, the high fire rate vector, chances are, Creedy, the chances of winning that gunfight are extremely low.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about the mirror windows is you look at them, you don't know, like you said. There could be somebody behind that wall, there could not. You have to assume there is, so you have to be careful. And if a mirror window is placed properly in a really good position, that might just attract the attention at the right moment, just like Raptor going to be able to catch Edan just in the back, just not looking in the right way, and the rest of Northern Shield, they're a little bit shaken now, not stirred just yet, but just shaken. Aggro is playing, watching for anyone who wanted to get aggressive in Piano, but couldn't do anything to help out that mine. But maybe there's something more that can be done. 2 minutes left, and the rest of Northern Shield are going to have to be dealing with this not from here push.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're going to have to deal with Mira that is holding down this key position already spoken about of Bathroom. Using the Mira windows to actually, I mean, look all the way through into like the default area. Oh no, a frag grenade coming through, but is actually able to get burned. I imagine we'll see the Mira actually, no, peek! I was about to say retreat, but that's not the case. Aggro getting aggressive and picking up that sledge as he was about to throw his frag grenade. The E1D coming out, making sure that all the players are frozen in place, but Creepery being able to pop out, pick up the man from heaven, and Raymond also picking up another. And there's 2 players left, Creedy. They've got 1:10 to do all the work that they need to actually make this round viable.
Yes, and with time ticking down, it's looking pretty good for the side of Northern Shield. Creepery finding another kill onto Raptor. They're normally anchoring player of the Maestro, just getting very aggressive, and Creepery deciding it's time for a few Twitter clips. Let's just make it happen. Encrypt's on the other side, though, not a great position. Time's ticking down. You know that those equalizers are there. The mirror windows yet again. And you've only got 1 gadget left. You only have 1 SAM-cam to get out there. The smoke canisters, they're coming through. It's not looking great. This is a great time to talk with your team about what's happening, but at least you get a really nice shot into Raymond anyway. That is going to be Northern Shield Esports, able to even things up. I nearly tripped up Cairo, but not just yet.
Well, Caston's a bit of hopscotch, and I mean, we're hopping right into the next one, Creedy. I'm also tripping up.
Good. I like that.
Well, anyway, point is, we're heading down to kitchen service. So, what is special about this site, Creedy? I'll tell you what's special about this site. There is 2 ways to take it. Technically 3 if you really want to count.
My mum says I'm special. Sorry, carry on.
what a way to... Oh, right. I'm not even going to...
I've ruined that, I'm sorry.
Right, something I wanted to talk about is the fact that kitchen on this bottom floor side of cafe is really special in the fact that there is multiple ways to attack it. It can be flat into bakery, you can do a top down into the back of white or top down into a late bakery flag. There's also sometimes what we've been seeing is a late rush into red, because sometimes if you are comfortable enough in doing this kind of dynamic setup, there is a rotate in towards this red kind of stairwell, and if it's controlled well enough, then obviously that won't happen. But anyway, sometimes that can be manipulated into the attacker's favour. So really what we need to see here from not from here is what is their most comfortable take, because that realistically on cafe is what you're comfortable with, is what is going to be the best for you when you're attacking, because when it comes to cafe, there's so many places that roamers can sit in. They can really, how do you put it, really break up rounds and just waste time. So I'm going to require from not from here to see what they're most comfortable with, and on top of that, what is their communication and droning like? How are they going to react to what Northern Shield are doing?
Yeah, and something that I really feel like touches upon that point in such a great way is the fact that VTS still has that Lion, still has the EE1Ds that can catch these roamers off guard, and if you move, you get caught. We all know exactly what happens in that scenario, but the important thing is this droning, like you said, it has to be impeccable. Because you can check out the scans, and the roamers, yeah, they're stuck in one spot. But it's so much more powerful if you know where they are. And while VT will take some damage, you're aware of a player towards that piano, a player towards white. You know about this. And because of this, these scans just get a lot more effective. And as I say that, we will see that opening frag. Taking away the vigil, so the droning takes a lot easier to get these roamers out. But I want you to think about this as I hand it over again, Cairo. We're looking at Lion instead of an operator like Jackal or Nomad. This is a much more aggressive style that NFH want to play into. Yeah. And it's going to be Northern Shield taking that gunfight early on so far, and Erdan's going to pay the price.
Well, Creedy, I mean, the thing is, the one thing that we need to talk about is the fact that Lion is more global and we don't need to actually find footsteps in the case of a Jackal or no, potentially a Mistron there. But Aggro is actually reacted to and Encrypts picks that frag up. And now Hacker actually taking out, continuing the refrags, taking out the 0. But in the grand scheme of things, all the refrags are going in favour of NFH. Of these attackers, and they're going to start the work putting the pressure onto site. Only Creepery down there, the Echo. He's going to be great for late round, but for now, he's got to try and stay alive. He's got to try and not get picked out from these vertical holes that the Sledge is doing so much work on. We also have a Zofia who can put impact charges down, and then on top of that, right, Creepy, oh my god, Creedy. What we could see is Hacker actually going for a bit of a flank, and that's going to take out your Zofia. That'll be good for the late round kind of soft destruction, and will potentially need to be done for the utility.
Yeah, the big problem for Northern Shield Academy right now is players like Hacker and Creepery with this Lion Scan in such an awkward position, but the plant has started to go down. Hacker's not able to find the kill, so it is going to be all down to Creepery. The Yokai comes out, but it's not going to be quick enough, and suddenly a 1 versus 3 retake situation. That second E1D is going to come down and burn at those seconds, those valuable moments that the defenders desperately need. Creepery is going to walk in, he's going to look for the gunfight, but he just can't win it out, and not from here. Another attacking round on the bomb site to seal what feels like a really good attacking half at the moment. I'm been quite impressed, especially from, not from here. You look at where they are in the league so far, they're not having the best season, but right now they're having a really impressive attacking side.
Yeah, it's really confusing to see what them at the bottom of the leaderboard when you're seeing a performance like this put in. Sometimes though, Creedy, we have to just look at it. Maybe they're just having a good game, having a good map. That's sometimes just potentially what it could be. But everything that I'm seeing here points to me that at least Cafe is one of the most comfortable picks. I think that's something that I would break down here. Because some of their attacking stuff is just so well played. They're combining with the Lion Scan really well. Their timings are almost perfect. Their droning is really in depth, really taking their time to re-drone things and make sure that everything's clear. And then when they move down, they're refragging each other, they're playing in unison. So while they're making small mistakes, like for instance, they are allowing Hacker to actually run up and get a late flank and get a kill. Very quickly, they're able to bust onto site and just pick up and use that man advantage. Oh no, I think this is
right. Okay, yeah. I've been following the chat, and we are going to be having a rehost because there was meant to be a 6th pick, but there was a bug that just didn't let it happen.
Okay.
Northern Shield, they've decided to go for their rehost. So Cairo normally rehosts, they take a little bit of time, but thanks to the magic and wonders of twitch.tv/CCL we're going to be able to jump back into that game quite quickly, aren't we, Cairo? But before we do, I do want to talk a little bit more about what we were saying, because I want to say it's polished coming out from Not From Here. They're doing quite well. Like you said, a lot of it is rehearsed. They know exactly where they need to be and when. And while Northern Shield, they're definitely not out of it yet, Not From Here are giving a very good performance just to start things off. And I'm very excited to see how this bottom table team are going to give what could have a game they're going to give.
Yeah, that's definitely it. And something that we need to talk about is we kind of briefly mentioned in the kind of pre-match build-up of the kind of ramble that these us as casters like to do when we're trying to hype up the game, is the fact that Cafe as a map is very... although we've been seeing slight, I'd say, trends against this, at its core is very defender-sided.
Yes.
And while we're seeing attackers thrive in certain areas like we are seeing here, I don't think that is because trends are shifting. I'd say that's more because teams are doing so well. So that's an even bigger component towards Not From Here. And so far, I'm really impressed with what they're doing.
Yeah, it's not a mistake that Not From Here are doing quite well and they're playing this well on this map, because if you've bothered playing competitive Siege at all, you'll understand that KAF Dostoyevsky is a very difficult map to master. So you've got to be quite confident being the team to pick that, because you realize you're going to be on the attack first, which means you've got to be good. You can't let the defense get too much momentum. And right now, Northern Shield, well, they do have a round on the board, and they do have the opportunity to equalize very, very close. I mean, there's no writing on the wall at the moment for either team. So far, not from here. They've done a very good job of setting the momentum. That's been one of the standout things for me. A lot of teams on CAF Dostoyevsky is, are the attackers able to really control the flow of the game, or are they going to fall into the normal flow you expect of the defenders having a lot of control?
Well, this is something we need to see. Castle on the roam, Creedy. You don't usually see this. That,
what will he do?
Well, one thing I wanted to say was the fact that the ump... oh no, I thought he was going to pick up the kill there, is that the ump is famously not the best gun in the game, as kind of exclaimed by Canadian. But he's managing to actually pick up a fair amounts of damage onto Raptor on the Zofia. That's something that could be worrying for the later gunfights, obviously, when the roam clear comes in, because Zofia is linked very heavily to entry. And when she'll be probably one of the first people to have to actually take those initial gunfights.
Yeah, and having a little bit of HP taken away from you can really do have a massive impact on the confidence going for those gunfights. So, Zofia, well, yeah, as long as you play refrags, you should be okay. Still, Raptor having quite a bit of damage taken away, that's an investment for later. That's something Northern Shield are going to catch on. And Eden is going to try and do that. Decides better of it. Just pull back, just play it safe. The whole point of this defense from Northern Shield is prepare for a bakery push, but definitely spread out. Make sure that these gunfights, they're going to benefit you. So don't go up above. Don't cause a lot of problems. You've already seen what happens if you let them get the vertical play and pick off players one by one. So I feel like Northern Shield, this is a good approach to spread things out.
Yeah, spreading...
That's a... interesting zero cam. I think that might have been a mistake there, but yeah, you get the right one up in the end, and the Lion Scan going out will give away some of that time. But VT is there for the first kill. Pre getting a refrag with 50 seconds left on the clock of 4 versus 4. And not from here yet to really make an entrance other than that Lion going in and falling. So, Cairo, vertical plays on the board. Time is ticking down, but Northern Shield have a lot of advantage to work with. How do you see this playing out?
Well, I can easily see this going either way here, as the time does tick lower and lower. Mission critical on Freezer can really turn into a kill box. But it seems as if NFH haven't made their decision yet, but obviously that pick might help out. But no, the castle on the roam. Raptor able to be able to pick up this frag, and 15 seconds left. Creedy, time is getting low, and it's getting to a 1 versus 1 situation. This Tones has to get the bomb down, but a ping comes out. Creepery on the roam. And it looks as if Tones may potentially be looking to actually place that diffuser on the ground. The Echo drones, the Yokai drones, hidden in a great spot. Can they deny the round? Yes, they can. Northern Shield equal the round count.
Yes, the plan going down 2 rounds in a row, but this time it was stopped by that Yokai drone, and we will see that equalization coming up. But very nicely done from Northern Shield. They spread it out, and they realized that not from here. Their first attack was based on get those roaming picks, get rid of them, get this vertical plate, and pick them apart. That's what they done, because as soon as these roamers were taken away, we saw not from here. They had advantages. They knew what to do with it. They had players alive and above. They had players putting pressure on site, and then that led to the defenders on site also really struggling to comfortably take the gunfights. You didn't have that freedom of movement. And that's something Northern Shield addressed. They spread out quite a bit more. They had a player towards Coke, Whiskey, VIP, all the way to Bakery. That's something that they looked into and they said, right, this is how we're going to deal with it. We're going to win this round, and we will. Returning to the top floor side, though, not from here. They won the first round, but lost the second. And either way, it's been quite convincing, let's be honest.
Yeah, it really has been quite convincing. But on this top floor site, I mean, the thing is, though, one thing that I will say is Northern Shield have been adapting every single time to what NFH... I can never say that, oh my god, NFH have been doing. I don't know what... See, honestly, see, being Scottish, see, try to pronounce things, it can really get to you sometimes. But, yeah, one thing that's been done really well from Northern Shield is the fact that they are adapting. They're making sure that on the second time of asking, they're picking up the round. So therefore, as we return to this top floor site, if NFH do the same thing again of using the line scans, trying to manipulate white window or white corridor window, doing all the same stuff again, I can easily see Northern Shield picking up the round just on the sheer fact that they're actually doing the right things. They're adapting to what Northern Not From Here are doing.
I feel like it's a good point. I'm not sure I entirely agree, but I don't really have much else to argue with. I mean, you raise really good points and present them very well, so there's only one thing to really work with, and that's to see how these rounds go, and Erdan will feel a lot of pressure very quickly. Yokai drones, well, not Yokai drones, Sam Cams, and definitely not Lion now. You're going to be able to win that gunfight. The pre-fire goes out to Cigar's shot, but Raptor, they're going to be winning that gunfight, and I do believe that this was maybe even just before the Zephyr recall nerf, so that's why you might be seeing a Zephyr LMG instead. Pixel, however, will be cleared out, and something I've just noticed, Cairo, as Tones is able to find Hacker, there's no player over towards white. This means that white stairs repel of Sledge, once you come off of it, the defenders have a lot more freedom of movement. Not that they're going to use it, but they can. And that's the big problem for Not From Here.
Well, this is it. See, the pressure that Mounted is constantly having to think, creating phantom pressure for these defenders. So, with that being the case, trying to be as oppressive as possible, not letting them rotate, but they are able to use utility. The Maestro camera being impressive as it can. Well, so far, what we're seeing here is great control from Not From Here. They're being able to pick up the cigar area, but they're not able to move in. The mirror window is still being able to exist, and the only way to counter this position here would to be get on the cocktail repel, get and try and deny from the windows, and we're just not seeing that so far. We're not seeing a reaction from Not From Here. They do have some information of a player on planks, but the Jaeger is actually reinforcing cocktail for any bar push. So Creedy, we're going to have to see if Northern Shield are able to react, and they're trying to react to default as Zamira gets into a more aggressive position to use the C4.
Yes, and the big problem for me that you were talking about as a frag grenade does go off from Tones and finds aggro is that there's just not enough time to make this rotate. They're going to have to brute force it, and with their kills coming through, Raptor's able to make sure that that can happen. Taking control of white at the most important time, finding the last couple of kills to close out that round and put it in favor of Not From Here. And so the trend continues. A round for Not From Here, followed by Northern Shield. The big question is, Cairo, is that going to be the case this time? One round at the split can have a very big difference. Think about a 4-2 split compared to a 3-3. Or a 5-1 compared to a 4-2. The momentum and the mentality going into that second half definitely has a lot at play here.
Yeah. It really does. Perspective can really change. I know that being a football fan and everything that's been going on in Scottish football past couple of weeks. But anyway, enough about that and more about this game. Creedy, what easily could be done here is Northern Shield, just in terms of mentality, what they need to do is focus on the next round. This is the most important round, and interestingly enough, they've decided to go towards the tertiary. We haven't seen it so far, but this site is very dynamic with the top floor hold and having to drop off for the late round push that will eventually come in. One thing that we will need to see from Not From Here is how they react to the top floor hold, how they react to what Northern Shield are doing, or with the way the drones are looking, the fact that they're all stacked over towards the west side, are we potentially seeing a LATAM take in through mining, in through the trains area, and then potentially into dining that way? Because in terms of vertical, that really doesn't affect that area of the map, only in towards trains.
Yeah, and I feel like that touches upon one of the key parts of why we see reading dining over dining mining quite a bit. Because piano is a very simple position for a lot of attackers to take. They know how to do it. They have to do it for the top floor site anyway. And for mining and dining, you have to have control of piano as a defender, but it's a very difficult place to defend itself. So that's why teams will just decide, okay, we're going to back up, because you need the vertical plane. If you lose that, then suddenly the Sledge, the bot, they get to work. But speaking of the attacking lineup, there isn't a Lion. And that raises a lot of questions for me. How are they dealing with the roam game? The Maverick is on the board instead, probably saying, okay, well, we struggled with a couple of walls. We won on gunfights a few times. What could they be bringing this Maverick for? Probably that freezer. Or that bathroom wall. The big problem, though, these mirror windows have still been brought out, and they're going to be very difficult to deal with, especially with Air Dan taking the head off of that Habana. Stavos low? Yeah, Stavos lows. Unable to find a single kill so far, at least since that rehost, and will not be able to do it this half.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit worse. The Mira again getting aggressive onto the white window where the sledge is on the rappel. Creedy, that was nearly a second kill, and there it is. Dan continuing his tirade as Aggro picks up another, and Crips and VT are the men left to do the job, and the job is a huge one. They need to get their hill walking boots on, Creedy, because it is an uphill battle. The diffuser is cold, and Crips creeping in towards Bar, trying to see if he can potentially pick up a free frag pen, potentially pick off any stragglers, but no, as the gunfight is taken, he only nets damage. VT has been downed, and then Crips put in the dirt. Flawless round here from Northern Shield. They had to focus on this one. It was a huge round before the split, and, well, focus on it they did. They won the round. They continued. They kept up with not from here. And with that being the case, as they move on to the attack here, Creedy, they'll be putting themselves in a fairly strong position. There is a little bit of a pause coming in, but that gives us more time to digest exactly what we've seen in that last round.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one. I feel like the aggression from Northern Shield was calculated, it was expected, because they said we're in this position where we don't exactly have an advantage. We need to win this. This is the tertiary site. We've picked this most likely because they've seen all the other defenses we have, and the tricks up our sleeves are pretty much gone. So we've got to jump back into the game thanks to the magic of technology. We have skipped that word for pause, and you know what? When we're looking at VODs, this is something that I've really enjoyed. Normally, pauses can take so long, and there's so much time to fill. But not right now. We're getting back into the action with Not From Here on the defense. But Northern Shield, they had to get aggressive. They had to realize that you were on the attack in the second half. You need that 3-3 split, because otherwise, Not From Here, their attacking side was good. And on a map like Cafe, you can only assume one thing from that their defense is going to be better, Cairo.
Yeah, that's a really good point to make. If you're comfortable attacking Cafe or attacking any map, then you should be comfortable defending it, because
attackers must locate and
Siege inherently is very defender-sided, because the defenders are saying, right, you guys come to us, you deal with what we've got. And if you're not prepared, as you can imagine, if you think about a ranked style of play, if you don't deal with what they've got, then obviously you end up losing. Why am I making this point? Right, well, obviously you think about it from this perspective. Not From Here, they attack really well, and because they're attacking, when they go towards the defender side, they'll know what they've got to expect. They'll know what's coming at them. They'll know what the theory crafting of the attack is. So, with this being the case, we'll need to see how they're setting up, and I mean, I guess you could argue it is similar to what Northern Shield were doing, but it's how they do it differently. For instance, Bathroom is not double reinforced, it's single reinforced. They have an Rooney to support it. Is it going to be on a more aggressive plays? We do see the mute below, potentially waiting for C4s for anybody walking into Cigar. Northern Shield do have a lot to do here, Creedy.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, Northern Shield, they have to get in. They have to be taking control of Piano. It is such a key position, and I feel like relying on frags, while it worked for Not From Here, it's not exactly what you want, let's be honest. But the big thing for me, Cairo, is where Stavo is playing. Playing down in train, having a C4. You hear the rip. That's over towards white. Tones is ready, knowing a sledge is on that window. Big thing, though, that Surya Gate is still going to provide a lot of protection, but also an early warning system. If Tones gets too close, they know that push is coming. But with the C4 ripped, it might just be too valuable. It goes off. It gets shot out before it can detonate, and suddenly, well, Tones, you've got to back up. What are you going to do? Northern Shield, they're going to get their utility in there, and Aggro going to be doing exactly that, getting Aggro, finding that opening frag. C4 from Stavo goes off. It won't be able to find that kill or do any damage, Cairo. But a minute is left.
Yeah, a minute left, and I believe that frag grenade actually took off the Habana charges that were about to destroy the mirror window. One thing I wanted to say, where Stavros put his C4, he could have potentially denied entry in through red stairs because, let's be honest here, Katie, with that explosion he creates the vertical holes that are actually just underneath the vault rotate. But no, I believe... Did someone get taken out there? No, it was Raptor taking out Raymond's. I was very confused. I thought we actually saw Habana down Raptor inside of bathroom, but I mean, I think I'm blind. I probably just need a set of glasses. I'll need to get to spec stables at some point.
Yeah, well, that's something that Not From Here might be feeling as well, because the plant's going down right under their nose. Creepy and Aggro were able to find these kills, and the plant has to go down, but is Creepy there to support? No, he's not. Stavo finds the kill. Raptor closes it out, and Not From Here, they're going to be able to find that first defensive round. A comfortable way, but not as comfortable as you'd want. That plant was going down twice, and you had to swing it both times. Not From Here, however, you're going to have a little bit of time to breathe and go downstairs and worry about going back to that another time. And we're going to see a very similar lineup to what we saw on this site from Northern Shield Academy. But the mirror's being brought again, and I really like this because it also allows for Northern Shield to look at that lineup and say, well, maybe, Cairo, maybe they've gone for the tertiary site. Or maybe they're having a roam game. There's so many options just from having that mirror on the board that Northern Shield can't comfortably say what's going to happen.
I don't think anybody could comfortably call anything on Cafe because, when you think about it, every site is viable. It's one of the few maps that you could argue, yeah, I mean, why not? It's not like Clubhouse where you have that barren stock. I guess Oregon's another one that's similar to Cafe with all 4 sites viable. So will you go into Cafe comfortable, or you think you're good enough? Honestly, it's one of those maps that could just be one thing, one spanner going into the cogwheel of your attack, and it completely shuts down. So what is the spanners going to be? So far, it seems to be looking like not something that we tend to see, but a Malusi actually staying towards the site. I could easily see this being like more of a horizontal roam rather than the vertical roam that was made. We saw from Northern Shield where the Vigil and the Malusi were up the very top floor. It was that kind of info denial style roam. I could see this being more horizontal and just not potentially wasting. I'd say more waiting for the players to roam clear from Northern Shield and then eventually reach the blockades that have been set up on the bottom floor. As we see Echo putting his shield in towards Coat Check, and I imagine there'll be a shield in towards VIP as well.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to look at whatever Not From Here can really do to stop this soft destruction from being useful. I mean, you're looking at the operators on the board and you're saying, well, we've got to deal with all these shields. How are we going to do that? Well, you got to save frag grenades. The Gon 6 on Ayana has to be saved. You're looking towards the Fierce Impacts. They have to be saved as well, but one person who isn't going to be saved is going to be that Jaeger. Taken away by Raymond, able to find that first frag, and will give Northern Shield the advantage. And I do want to say at this point, Cairo, Northern Shield and Not From Here, I'm tripping up a little bit. The names are quite similar, but that's okay. Because Northern Shield, the playstyles are kind of similar, and they're doing the right things. They're getting the drones out there. Roam clear is working. Both sides on their roam clear have been able to find those open kills onto the roamers. Right now, though, it looks like the roamers, they're trying to bite back. A C4 will go up, but won't find a kill, and as time ticks down, Northern Shield one step closer to being comfortable, actually. All the C4s are off the board. They might not know that, but that's okay, because they can do this vertical play.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can play as hesitantly as you want, but all in all, they are safe, and they can really take their time with what they need to do, with what they need to manipulate, and more manipulation coming from Dan taking out in Crypts, leaving more, I mean, I'd say more holes in the defense, because that's what Northern Shield need. They need these holes to actually maneuver the site in their favour and get the plant down, as we see towards this Freezer side. Hacker and Aggro trying to gain enough control so they can move in and get the plant. They have a smoke to deal with, but they've already wasted one Toxic Babe, and they can only waste 20 seconds at a time. With that being the case here, Creedy, that can easily go in favour of these attackers. Another thing will go in favour of attackers, Aggro picking up another frag.
Yes, and with aggro being able to do that, suddenly North Shield, like you say, they're able to start poking these holes. They find it. Raptor is the only player on site. It's just the 2 SAS operators left with 24 seconds on the clock. The final smoke grenade is in pocket, but Raptor's going to win the gunfight through the vertical play. A 2 versus 4, but Time's going to step in favor of the defense as BT's able to find a kill and run back to site as well. Raptor brings us down to a 2 versus 2. Time's ticking down while aggro does find a kill. You've got to be on site. You don't have the diffuser. The Time's just not going to be there, and you get the kill, but not the round. Yes, you will actually. You find the frags and taking out the smoke on 0-0, Cairo, to keep Northern Shield 4-4.
That was a great kill. So important to keep up with NFH. Something that we need to see, KD, as you spoke about it before when we were talking about splits, is perspective of rounds. 4-2 splits, 5-1. What looks better? And when you're looking at that, 5-3 is starting to look dangerous for these defenders because they're getting a momentum, they're continuing forward. And then you could even argue the point of mentality. How do you react to losing on such a heartbreaking round if it was the case? But no, aggro continuing to get the frags, continuing to keep up with NFH. And now we are heading back to bottom floor site. Does NFH have the answers? Because they'll be thinking to themselves, we played that almost perfect. How did we not win? What is the adjustments this time?
Well, Cairo, you're looking at that saying they played it almost perfectly, but in my opinion, from what we've seen from Not From Here so far, I don't say that's on the normal standard of their defense of what I expect to see from them. They lost these players. They had a 3 versus 5, and yes, Raptor and VT were able to bring it back down to that 2v2 even. But there was a lot of mistakes cut before that. We were seeing C4s used quite early, and while that isn't such a bad thing, players are being taken out on the top floor. There wasn't much support on the roam for them, and Northern Shield, they were quite comfortable on the roam clear. That's not what the roamers are meant to allow. They're meant to make that the complete opposite. You don't want your attackers to be able to just run around and do whatever and poke holes in your defense and have control of red stairs just before you execute. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to take it away from them. That was a very close round, a very winnable round, and if, you were in a slightly different position or just holding the angle a bit more aggressively, you could have won that round. I feel like Northern Shield, it was theirs to win from about that halfway mark. Regardless, so Cairo, returning to the bottom floor, what are the changes that we're going to see?
Well, something that we all need to see is potentially C4's not expended so early. We do have one more left, and that's going to be key for the later vertical play that will be coming from Northern Shield. Because, let's be honest, eventually it is going to come. But, Stavolos, he's going to get picked apart, and the roam gets even harder to do. Let's be honest, they only need to find, I'd say, one player, but no, the Mozzie has retreated to the bottom floor on Whiskey. So therefore, this roam is potentially done already.
Yeah, I mean, I look at CAF and I say, well, the roam, it has to have the defenders setting the pace, like I said at the very start. And Not From Here, they haven't been able to do that. They've lost these opening gunfights. And I feel like as soon as Encrypts goes down with the Yokais as well from the frag grenade, it looks again like it's going to be Northern Shield's round at that halfway mark. I mean, the Roamers, they're not applying the pressure. The revive does come through, but it feels like this is Northern Shield's round. This is their map pick. This is their position. This is their comfort. Big thing, though, is obviously these SAS operators. They cause a lot of hurting at the end of the round in a 2 versus 5. Big question, though, for me, though, Cairo, is what are they going to do if they're able to find a pick before that point? Well, they might just be able to do it as aggro takes quite a bit of damage getting the frag grenade into VIP, but doesn't find the kill. Most importantly, doesn't get killed yet either. Still has utility in pocket, still has time, but that time is going to start whittling away quite quickly, and Not From Here, that's only going to help themselves. As you can hear the smoke canisters, they go through. Hacker's able to find a kill into VT, however, finding that 3 versus 5, and, well, it's not looking great for Not From Here. I'm going to have to admit it. The player in VIP has a huge chance at keeping them in the game. The drop is heard, the drop is called, and the push into sight from Northern Shield is going to begin, but the plant is going. Air Dance are going to bring us down to a 2v5 yet again. Tones and Encrypts, this is your moment. Can the Yokai drones and the vertical play have the impact that you need? Maybe. Are you going to get the Yokai there in time? Yes, you are. It's going to stop the plant going down once.
No.
Tones gets a kill onto Aggro, but the plant isn't going to get stopped. It's going to go down, and Encrypt has to go for the retake. Able to find Raymond. Well, now you've got to push into sight as well. Push together, but there's vertical play. And there's a player that's prone with Hacker. He's going to find that kill, and Encrypt all on your lonesome. The drones are coming out from Creepery. It's going to be Hacker. A huge round from the Habana to close things out and give Northern Shield their 5th round. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Cairo, but the lead for the first time on this map.
Yeah, it is the lead for the first time, and I mean, what an emphatic way to do it. They poked the holes in the defence from before. We asked the question, what does NFH do in terms of reacting to what Northern Shield are doing? Northern Shield almost won the round. No, sorry, they did win the round previous, but NFH, it was taken just at the last second from their grasp. To me, although I said it was an almost perfect defence, I mean, you correctly analysed why it wasn't. Now, with that being the case, that obviously means there needs to be some adaptation. There needs to be some correction to what you're going to do, what you want to really adapt to. And we just didn't see the adaptation coming from NFH. And with that being the case, Northern Shield just continue to do what they did previously, poke the holes in the defence, manipulate the site, get the players that they needed to get, and then just moved in for the plant. And now, Creedy, this is where it's getting worrying. This is where the momentum swing comes in. This is where the question asks, how is your ball? Are you guys going to be able to keep up? Are you guys going to be able to keep up with the momentum? Or are we finally seeing Northern Shield going to start
5 seconds to go.
going ahead, starting to take that advantage and really start to punish not from
Attacker's
here?
objective is to locate a bomb
Yeah,
and
well, this is the place to do it. Going to that bottom floor again is just not the play here, unfortunately for them. I know they want to do it, but Northern Shield, they've won it twice. Not from here. If you were going to win that round, it was going to be in that last one. That wasn't the case. Return here, you're doing the right thing. This is where you won it out. You were able to really put the pressure on Northern Shield here to the point where they were going for plants without enough cover. Let's replicate that. Let's see exactly how that happened. And I feel like it was that pressure towards the white area. So any player towards Pixel or Bathroom would be feeling very uncomfortable. And why maybe wanting to pull back a little bit too early. That's something you might want to recreate. But most importantly, Kara, the gunfights, the way that, and not from here, have been putting Northern Shield into these unwinnable situations. I mean, it's something I was talking about with Jerry yesterday, the Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek. The unwinnable situation. And the question is, what are you to do? Well, nobody finds an answer unless that is cheat. But right now, Raymond and Creepery, they're going to be working on burning out this Bathroom player. And if they're able to do that, suddenly they can have a great opportunity. But Tones is suspiciously down below. Will put a little bit of pressure on, runs back up, realizes taking the gunfight's not the answer, but there's one mirror window, will get open, VT's able to find a kill to Raymond. Aidan gets a refrag and takes away Tones. The mirror on white stairs, but VT waits like a snake. They strike and find that kill. Halfway through the round, Cairo, and it looks like Northern Shield have started to meet their match.
They certainly have, but the defenders still persist. And they are going to have to keep persisting in this defence. They have to stand strong and be counted. By be counted, I mean they need to win the gunfights. They need to make sure Northern Shield can't get back into this round, and a great way to do it is VT picking up his third in the round. The Habana pellets going out, a frag grenade getting sung all the way through sight, picking up nothing, not from here, giving nothing away to Northern Shield, and there is a player below potentially throwing a C4 up.
Yes.
To that default position. That's going to be key for later on if we do see Northern Shield actually get back into this round. But a quad kill on the round for VT Aggro. Potentially having to pick up all, not potentially, well, he'll have to pick up all 3 remaining players here, Creedy, but can he do it?
Yes, and the first kill onto Raptor's going to make life a lot easier, especially after finding VT, but 2 more are left. A pretty fire comes through, Aggro finds a third! It's all down to the 1 versus 1, but Encrypt is playing it safe, waiting, watching, and ready to find the kill. That's going to be not from here, just able to keep in that round long enough to find that frag, and they will even things up. 5-5 Cairo. This next round is going to be crucial, because not from here, they have to go to a different site. I want to see that tertiary site, and it looks like they're going to be heading there. But the question is, how is this going to go? You know, the tertiary site, a lot of teams, they don't like it. I personally do, because it feels like a top floor site. And till the last, 30 seconds or so, when you drop down below, obviously probably not as true as it used to be back in the 20-second meta, but
yeah.
Northern Shield, how will they be prepared for it?
This is something that we need to find out, Creedy, because preparation is key when we get into things. And with Amira actually being brought out instead of a smoke, I have to ask, what is the win condition for this site? Because when you think about every site, there is a win condition, whether it be denying defaults or playing for late game pushes, trying to be resolute and holding pixel, etc., wasting time. All these things are win conditions at the end of the day. And you taking away a smoke changes the win condition, because usually when you see a smoke, you think this is going to be time denial, it's going to be plant denial with those toxic creeps. That's gone now. That's not going to no longer be the case. What it's going to be is being aggressive off these mirror windows. Is it going to be playing for frags? Is it going to be using these C4s to deny instead, or even just playing vertical? Northern Shield have to react to what they're bringing here, and the fact that they're bringing 2 shields and 2 mirror windows, I would say it is more reminiscent of the 20-second meta, but I really don't agree with not bringing a smoke for this site.
Yeah, it's not a great position to put yourself in, but that is the situation we find ourselves in. I feel like not from here, they're really going to benefit from the shotguns that are brought from the Frost and the Mirror. I really like the setup that we're seeing. It's like that top floor site. They have the mirror positions. They have VT over towards that freezer area. Northern Shield, they're going to have to deal with a lot of work before they're able to move on forward, and that's going to start right here in Cigar Shop. Raymond, on the entry, has decided to lead the way through, as a good Zephyr main probably should, and starts to move forward, and will be the first to deal with the puzzle and challenges presented by Not From Here, the first of which is going to be Pixel to ADS covering that Frost, and just a rotate around over towards Bathroom. And a very aggressive position to hold. Pixel has been cleared out, but Bathroom hasn't. And honestly, with the way that this site works, you don't have time to go in the window. It's going to have to be the gunfights, and Erdan starts us off with the first kill onto Encrypt. VT will answer back and takes away the Zephyr as well. A lot of utility gone, but Aggro is going to make VT pay for it, dropping down to Train and applying that pressure down below. Halfway through the round, and Northern Shield, a very strong start so far, but Not From Here. They still have time to work with, but they need to be able to use it. They need to be able to get Northern Shield in these positions where they're not going to break out without wasting a lot of time. And Erdan is just stopping whatever Not From Here are trying to make happen, finding another kill, and just really punishing Not From Here for the loss of Raymond on the Zephyr. Time is ticking. A minute on the clock, and while Laundry is fully reinforced, Stab is going to get pushed away. Tones realizes, okay, well, probably off top floor, I've got to get aggressive, but with the drone, that's not going to happen. And the plant's going to go down unchallenged from the defenders.
Yes, but finally we see one challenge coming through, and it was the Mira, but very quickly picked up. Tones down in the dot. It's now up to Stavros. That Echo, we have seen him come close to clutching before, and no clutch is going to be the case this time. The attackers won out round 6 on the tertiary site. It is statistically in their favour, the site they are most likely to win, and we head to round 12. But with that being the case, NFH, they have to make a decision. Is it bottom floor, is it top floor, or is it going to be the tertiary site? I believe, actually, I'm talking nonsense. I don't think they have the top floor available. I think it'll just be kitchen. And with that being the case, kitchen service, only being available, you have to kind of flip a coin, because what you've seen here is Northern Shield really dominate on the roam clear and get the plant down. And then also on the tertiary site, they've really dominated in that roam clear and getting the plant down. So you need to react and win those gunfights on the roam clear.
You say it's a coin toss, but it feels a lot more like a very weighted coin toss.
Yeah.
We're looking at the side of Northern Shield. They've been able to take control. They've been able to find those early frags. And while in the last time we were here, it wasn't as quick, the vertical play was still there. I believe it was Hacker just stepping up and picking up so many impactful kills, covering these plants from going down, covering all these key angles like that long corridor and the defender's default positions. It's a weighted coin, I hate to say, Cairo, and I feel like if NFH were really going to push it to match point overtime, maybe, then it was going to be the last round. This is very much in favor of Northern Shield, if you ask me, unless we see something massive happen. And for me, it's got to be the playstyle of these roamers. They've got to be a lot more controlling and have a much more fearful presence to Northern Shield. I know it sounds very weird, but get aggressive, go for very weird swings, but be smart about it. Think about what you're peeking. Don't peek anything twice. Play those stairs very, very hard. And if you think you are going to die, just pull back to site. You're wasting time. You're forcing Northern Shield to go for a very deep roam clear. And if we don't see that, I see a 7-5, Caro.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've just said, Cody. It's all about... I saw it in our 6TMs when it was casting the other day. It's all about creating phantom pressure. What is phantom pressure? It's making the attackers believe that you are close, or the defenders that you are close, and that you can punish them for any mistakes that are made. So therefore, they're apprehensive to make moves or make these kind of game-winning plays. By doing this, you could either just make a repel sound, come off it, shoot open windows, even create rotates that actually are never going to be used. Yeah, it might make it easy for the attackers to rotate through the map, but therefore they have to drone out this rotate, see what's on the other side, and leaving angles like that open with aggro being able to take the map control so easily is not fun. Oh no, that's C4.
Yeah, but for me, I feel like that C4's banking on a lot, and VT is not going to be able to get it back. So you have to be confident when you're going for that. And we've seen Northern, not from here, they've not really had much success with the C4s. However, VT is going to prove me wrong. A frag grenade will go down. It won't find that Cade Electro Claw. And you're in a very difficult position. But if you are the side of Northern Shield playing on the ace, which you don't have, you might know that you can actually get that open even if it's electrified. Doesn't really matter though, the frag grenade will be able to take it down. Malusi is off the board, but there are a couple more pre-plays so far lying in wait for Northern Shield. VT is looking for this vertical play, looking for an angle, looking for a kill, but suddenly you have to be very, very aware of the player in dining. Raptor, though, able to find a second kill with that C4. We'll take it with a sledge, and let's be honest, Cairo, if you're trying to stop vertical play with a C4, those are the two operators you want to kill.
Yeah, definitely. The call center minefield does its work and takes out probably two of the most important operators on Northern Shield. But those three operators still have the ability to actually win out this round. In doing so, they need to take out the Cade. Doing that actually opens up the default to plant this bomb. We need to see the reaction from the players out in Whiskey, and Creepery is actually reacting to that just now. Stavlos trying to get back into sight, and Crips using the yokai drones, but they're getting dropped, and now it looks as if the 40-second timer has begun.
Yes, it has, and suddenly not from here. They have 40 seconds to try and retake and make this their round. Savo's not going to make it happen. It's all going to be down to Encrypts, and you're playing in code check, and you realize there's vertical angles. There's players on red. That's going to be Creepery going for the swing, going for the kill. Isn't able to land it, but Encrypt's position has been given away. 20 seconds left to find 2 kills and get on that plant. Time ticking down to the point of no return, and we are getting closer and closer. But Aggro's bullet is going to be the thing that sends us over the edge. And Northern Shield will claim a 7-5 victory on Kaf Dostoyevsky. Next up, Cairo, Oregon, and that is Northern Shield's map pick. The question is, are we going to see the same not from here?
I don't know about that. I definitely could see that this was a very well-drilled cafe from NFH. And with that being the case, we need to see them really reproduce the gunfights that they were manipulating in their favour every single time. Creedy, that was a great performance from NFH, but that is really heartbreaking to lose out the map in that way, especially when you had the man count in your favour.
Yeah, and I feel like it came down to Northern Shield showing why they're at the top of the leaderboard in that second place spot at the moment. That was coordinated, that was prepared. They mimicked a lot of positives that we saw from Not From Here. The coordination was there, and while I'd argue Not From Here had a stronger attacking side, it's the fact that we saw Northern Shield being able to take the initiative on the attack that really helped, and the fact that on defense it was tit for tat constantly. Honestly, Northern Shield, they played it very well. The coordination was there, the game plan was there, and even when things went wrong, they were still able to bring it up, which unfortunately I didn't see from Not From Here on their defense. They're going to look all the way towards that. They're going to look towards that again and say, well, what went wrong? How can we move on forward? But Cairo, speaking of that, we have a second map, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of technology, as you've already said. You can quickly get into maps. We don't need to give players the break that they require. Unfortunately, we do have to treat players like humans and give them breaks. It's a horrendous situation that we're in here, Creedy. But anyway, enough about
We're
that.
working them to the bone, aren't we?
Yeah, well, we want to see more drama, and the only drama we get is when they're tired. So, with that being the case, Thatcher being taken off the board, that's a great pick, to be honest. I mean, it's standard.
Yeah, but it's not one that really makes me excited. You said we want drama, Cairo, but a Thatcher ban just doesn't give it to you. So, Thatcher ban, that's an understandable one. I'm expecting to see Maverick and Cade come in, maybe a Wamai at the end, but this is very typical as it starts. We've seen Flores get banned quite a bit, but no. Northern Shield have decided to get rid of Nomad, and while Nomad would be a much stronger ban on Kaf Dostoevsky, because of the way that there's two staircases, I feel like this is really good. Northern Shield are prepared for their defense. They want to play aggressive. They want to catch you off guard, and they want to know, even if they're Jackal scanned or spotted on camera, they can swing and they can go for a gunfight or a tasty flank. Big thing for me, Cairo, is that Not From Here didn't bring the Nomad. They brought a line instead.
Yeah, that's it. And they also brought a Zero, if you remember correctly, Creedy. And those are probably the two other viable options. I mean, we could also see a Gridlock being taken. So I don't think NFH are actually that worried about when it actually comes to flank watch operators. They seem to be very comfortable in their picks. But I don't know if that's just because they were trained. They were actually trained in that kind of... operator lineup on Cafe specifically, or if they're actually comfortable in the placements and the utility usage on Oregon. But another thing that we need to see is we won't be getting to talk about that just yet. We are going straight to the defensive side for NFH, and they're going to laundry and supply room. And something... Oh, never mind. Okay, I was going to say we don't necessarily get to see a bandit that often on bottom floor, but he's getting switched off of, and the Goyle is being brought. I quite like a Goyle on bottom floor, the double shield setup, when you think about elbow, and I like to play it, when I'm personally playing it, a more aggressive positioning in towards the blue door, where you can peek players, and then it kind of creates this crossfire that, let's be honest, you really don't want to deal with. So I like this pick up from NFH.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the use of a Goyo here. It means play positions like pillars, and the fact that Goyo is such a powerful operator, the teams really like bringing. I don't even think it's because of the impact that the fire has on the other team. It's so much more comfortable as a defensive lineup to know that you do have those couple of seconds to pull back out of elbow or pull back from pillars, and know that you're not being pushed. Compared to a normal shield. I mean, let's be honest, attackers don't really push that position. It wastes time because of the fire. That's what I really think is the case. It's your players are just a lot more comfortable abandoning those positions and going for a reinforcement when they know that a Goyo shield is burning up that entire walkway. But speaking of burning up that walkway, we're going to see North Shield with a very aggressive entry towards that mini tower and over towards that armory. And it's very much hinting that they want this roam clear. They do not want Tones to stay alive. But on the flip side, NFH, they've listened to me in what I said in the future for them, but they've gone for a much more fluid roam and a bit more aggressive. You'll see there's a lot of rotates, a lot of open hatches, but the big problem is Northern Shield are prepared for this, Cairo.
We are prepared. We are prepared for everything that seems to be thrown their way so far, with the roam clear being done. I mean, this is the thing though. But the question I've got to ask you, Katie, was potentially the fact they were trying to site bait, maybe with those reinforcements up the stairs. Maybe not. But
No.
Maybe it was just to support Stavalos on his roam. But Tones, though, on his roam picks up one, and that is Creepery, that is the Flores, that is the Argentinian off the board. 1 minute and 40 seconds left, Creedy. You think about that Argentinian op being taken off, that's going to make taking elbow that much harder.
Yes, the Argentinian hunk is removed from the board, and at this point, like you say, a lot of work is going to be made a lot harder for the attacking side. They only have Zafir and aggro able to deal with a lot of these utility. For example, look at your Goyo shields, but Tones, they're going to be taking away the Habana. Tones is able to find a third. Will take away aggro, and suddenly Erdan and Raymond, well, they're trying to have a significant impact, but right now it's all been the Tones show, able to find a fourth kill on for the ace. We'll rotate around to split, looking for Erdan. But realize as well, there's a minute left. You have not let Northern Shield get outside of this middle floor. This round is as good as won. Even if you die, which is going to be the case, you are denied that ace. But Erdan has to try and make his way down below, and because of this, NFH, they can play a lot more aggressive, and that means their defensive setup cannot be inspected by Northern Shield. They can't say, okay, what went wrong on the actual site? What did they have where? Because right now, Erdan is barely even making it into security, and the audio is given away, and that means it's going to be VT closing things out for the opening round, and Northern Shield, you annoyed them on CAF, I think it's safe to say, because over here in Oregon, not from here, they seem right at home.
That was a really good point, though. Something that we need to state is the fact that Northern Shield didn't get to inspect the site. They didn't get to see the setup. Yeah, they get to almost see what was going on the top floor and middle floor. But if not from here really want to, they could essentially just scrap that and just go for a default setup, and then Northern Shield are kind of stumped. They're thinking to themselves, well, what have they actually done differently from last time? How are we going to attack this? Is there still a Roma? Is this maybe what we're seeing? So with that being the case, not from here are playing that beautifully so far, and everything that's came out, I'm just really impressed with. And I keep thinking to myself, why are they bottom of the table? Like, fair enough, they're losing out rounds and etc., but it's just really confusing to try and figure out what is actually being going wrong on the other matchups. I would really like to do a bit of VOD review and actually see what's going on.
Yes, well, not going to be the case at the moment, Kara, because what we are going to be looking at is Kid Storms anyway, and I feel like Creepery sticking the Flores is the right decision. We talked about why it was an important pick, an important operator to lose as the very first death in our last round. But I feel like this site is a perfect example of why. Look at that Goshilin trophy, though, that can be cleared by a Flores. But I'm thinking maybe more towards players like the Clash of Stavo, or the players in Armory. You can shut off a lot of their rotations with these Flores drones and have somebody pushing it. A coordinated team can really cause havoc with that Flores, and whether that is going to be the case, Cairo, we have yet to see.
Yes, we will need to see, Creedy, we'll need to see exactly what is going to be the case when we come to the top floor site. And they have actually opened up that highway to the bottom floor. That I like to call it the Roamer Highway, because it lets the roamers rotate to any part of the map, come up the stairways and cause bother, whether it be White Stairs or in towards Master, or maybe even in towards Attic, because that's, let's realistically think about it, that is where most of your breaching happens, Master and Attic. So this can really cause bother for these attackers when the defenders have direct access with no.
And
sorry, on you go.
And the drone hole in Attic to get the utility off, and without a Cade on the board, and that's not great. But the big thing is, there's no utility denial. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I am going to throw it back to you, but that is something that just really occurred to me, is there's no utility denial on the side of not from here.
Yeah, that is really interesting actually when you think about it. We do have the catcher, so I guess you could count that as denial, but when you have aggro being able to take out encrypts like that, just denying bodies, I mean, this is going to get worrying very quickly. Tone's answering back though, that is the Jaeger that we're talking about, that denial, and he's actually fighting through the vertical holes, but that's not really advised, especially when you're fighting against a Buck who is almost a master of fighting from below. But he is going to be taken out, and I am going to get the Caster's Curse once more, Creedy. 55 seconds remaining, and we have a massive piece of utility still on the board. And it's not what you think about. It's not shields. Well, I guess you could call it. It is one big massive walking shield. It's Stavelos still being able to persist and give away this information.
Yeah, and Creepery is going to be realizing how much of a pain it is as you try to take this gunfight, but the plank going down, there's going to be Creepery falling, but has distracted just enough for Hacker and Aggro to get the plank down, but the retake is in place. Raptors able to find a kill, and Aggro all on their lonesome is going to have to try and get something. Not from here, looking to claim a second round. Aggro going for the run, but gets taken down. And while the rehost is called, Cairo, not from here are able to dominate in the second round of Oregon. What's left next? The tertiary bomb site.
The tertiary bomb site is really tough on Oregon, but it's also really strong in certain cases if you are comfortable. I imagine we will be seeing our lovely faces very shortly, Dotley. But I mean, what we need to look at here is Tones actually popping off 5 kills in 2 rounds, Creedy. That is an MVP performance so far.
Yeah, it is.
But what we need to talk about, Creedy, is the fact that so far, what we've been seeing from Not From here is a very strong defense on Oregon. We're heading to our tertiary bomb site, which is dining and kitchen, but we need to talk about the importance of those sites. When we think about it, attic, very, very important if you're going for the meeting choice. But if it's dining and kitchen, then we need to see good showers control from Not From here.
Yeah, showers is such an important position in this site that you have to have somebody there. They don't even have to play it very aggressively. They can be on cameras for a good portion of that round, but they need to be there. Because as soon as you can open up showers, as soon as an attacking side can get in there, let's be honest, they're going to have mini tower control, whether you're having a hold there or not. If you have a hold in mini tower, the round either ends very quickly or they get flushed out very quickly. So they're going to have mini tower, they're going to have showers in that situation, they can just kind of collapse onto site, they can get up against the wall and go for a plant in that safe position. And in that, any retake that's going to happen, you're forcing a wide swing, and it's very, very defender-sided as soon as that plank goes down. But, Cairo, I know that you are very EU-based with your casts, and you've been branching out to NA, and you've been loving it, let's be honest. But over towards this side of the Atlantic, where, you know, the cool kids are, they actually seem to favor, in my experience, kitchen meetings. So why don't we talk about that for a second?
That's really interesting. I didn't know that, but kitchen meeting is obviously how would you put it? It's a really interesting site because you have the dynamic of attic, and as well as that, the meeting hatch. So again, you're easy to drop off, and what teams tend to do is actually attack it from the tower side and try and manipulate map control through that, opening up the breach, trying to put pressure in through attic, and then obviously try and manipulate the hatches. So a lot of verticality on this specific site. So with that being the case, Greedy, I'm really excited to see what's coming. As I believe the producer has just told us that we're going to shortly get straight into this map. So with that being the case, I want to see what's going to happen from, I believe it's Northern Shield on the attack, and how they're actually going to manipulate the site. Because if they do decide to go from small tower, and they do, well, I would say get taken off guard, that might not be the case. But if they do get taken off guard and they do come from a small tower and actually try to go for kitchen, and we do see a vertical hold from upstairs in kids' dorms, I want to see how they react to that dynamic.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see whichever side we are going to be heading to. I'm looking forward to seeing how the defense is going for. I mean, I look at it and I say, as we go in, we're going to go to kitchen dining, and it's going to come down to a lot of what you said. There's going to be a very heavy emphasis on showers and towards that kitchen side. But any good defensive side. Actually, no, I'm wrong. I actually misread it. The angle kind of messed me up a little bit. We are in kitchen meeting, so we are going to see that vertical play. We are going to be looking over towards the actual meeting side. The attic, that's going to be the key position. And a lot of teams attacking, they like to go for Kid Storm's push. They like to go take control of that trophy area, open up the attic, we'll go for a pinch, get the utility, then you open up the meeting wall. Once you have that vertical control, then that's when you start thinking about going for a plant, because you can cover it and start maybe getting a buck above dining, above kitchen area, and start suddenly you're really putting pressure on the retake. Now, Northern Shield Creepery isn't in the lobby right now, but they still have all the tools that they need. The hard breach, the soft destruction, the fragger, and most importantly, Cairo, my support emotionally. Because they are on attack, they don't have a player, so I'm going to be sending them some of my energy and love. And I know this game happened a while ago, and it is a VOD that we're watching, but I feel like, I can really come on through. And aggro is going to be able to stop a spawn peak, probably trying to compound this advantage that not from here have. Well, unfortunately, they're just going to even things up. So I'm going to feel quite smug about that and throw it over to you.
Well, I'm going to say, Creedy, I'm going to say you get the assist for that kill, because let's be honest here, I mean, you were talking about your love and energy, and then next thing, Northern Shield get that frag. Is it a coincidence? I don't think it is. Well, with that being the case, they have evened out the man count here, so they are going to have to try and alleviate the utility pressure that will be eventually coming through. They're opening up the wall in front of them and towards meeting, but there is a Mozzie that is in crypts below, and he can easily rotate up these tower stairs and cause a real bother. And there is also the mute above causing bother himself through vertical holes that are actually close to the mute jammer that is denying in towards the attic wall. I believe there is some rotations coming out from meeting from Kids Dorm, towards meetings to reinforce the site presence for these defenders.
Yeah, the interesting choice from me is that wall of meeting was actually left soft. I realize you want to play the vertical, but, well, it made life quite easy for the Buck, who is trying to get over there. Clears that utility, and that wall opens up very fast. Creepery will be returning into the game, and will at least be able to watch those cameras. But like we said, it's already a 4 versus 4, and some power positions have been taken by Northern Shield already. They have control of that swamp area where aggro is. They have pressure over towards attic, and while Hacker is going for a plant, they don't have that much control to really be doing this right now. A C4 can come from below, the smokes can go as well, but the plant actually gets off. None of the players from Not From Here actually did anything to stop it, and Airdan's able to find a kill. Raymond's going to add on to it while Tones does find a refrag. Aggro's there to add on to it. Tones, this is your map. This might be your game, but right now you need to make sure that this is not Northern Shield's round. You're going to have to go around and find 2 kills. You've already got 2. Can you make it another? You're going to run, you're going to sprint, you're going to go for the kill. You're able to find a header 1, but Hacker on the stairs will shut you down. Northern Shield find their first attacking win on the tertiary site.
I was really worrying there for Northern Shield when they went for that plant. I was like, surely they're not going to lose the case so deep in towards site in such an awkward position where the smoke can just keep using his toxic babes to deny any sort of plant. And then on top of that, it comes down to what Tones on an absolute mission trying to win back. I don't know, but I'll tell you something, Creedy. That was too close for comfort, and we do head back to laundry and supply room, where, as we mentioned previously, Northern Shield have very little information from, on Not From Here setup.
Yeah, because as I'm sure you remember, I yelled about it literally 30 seconds ago, and I said, Tones, this is your map, and this may be your game. Well, let's talk a little bit about why. In that last round, Tones listened exactly to what I said. The roaming game was impeccable from them, and the gunfights and the gun skill displayed was top quality, to be honest, Kyra. You can't really fault it. Northern Shield, though, a lot of work needs to be done to pick up another round. You have that full 5 players in the lobby. You can clear out that blue position quite easily. You can get some utility, maybe onto Tones, quite nicely as well, by taking out that might mute jammer if need be. I'm pretty sure actually that mute jammer will catch a Flores drone going through the hatch, or through the drone hole. But an interesting fact, it won't stop a zero cam, and a zero cam can actually get that utility away and carry a hard bridge gadget. Little tidbit for you, it's something I use in my own games, but it's not something right now that's really going to benefit Northern Shield, because they're looking for this big tower. They're looking to take control of it and then most likely move over towards meeting. But they're aware that one of the big things, the big problems in the last round was they gave Tones too much freedom. That's why you're seeing them pushing small tower, pushing over towards big tower and main lobby. They're droning. They are refusing to make the same mistake. But Tones is able to pick up one of these drones himself. And will be able to take this gunfight should they so desire. I imagine they would at this point. Look at the KD, Cairo. And suddenly, Creepery and Aggro are going to slowly walk towards the Muzzy.
Yes, the potential impending doom of that P10 Roni could easily take Creepery by surprise. This is the thing though, Creedy, right? This is one thing we need to talk about, is how Tones is feeling himself. He's already starting to land his shots, but no, Aggro from the side takes him out. I never even realised that's Aggro's positioning in towards security, and you've got to help. You surely feel that this roam could easily fall apart, especially with Stavros very close to Creepery. No, he roams away.
Yeah, dropping down was the right move there. Northern Shield, very nice pinch coming in on the Roamers to get rid of them. But the Roamers have done exactly what they need to do. Time is ticking down, and Aggro will try and find a kill to make sure that at least this wasted time isn't in vain. But you're looking at the positions on the side of Northern Shield, and you're realizing that they are going to have to go to the lion's mouth. They're going to have to put their head right there, because Raymond is probably going to have to walk down pillars. At the same time, a player drops down that meeting hatch. And while you can't cover both angles at once, you can certainly give it a go and at least find one kill. Creepery's Flores drones for the first time really going to make an appearance. And right now they can shut Stavo off so well if they know that the Jaeger's playing there. Northern Shield, like I said, they have to put their head in the lion's mouth, and that's going to happen right now. Stavo is going to be flushed out of this position. Creepery's going to be waiting. Goes for the kill. Will be able to find it. And not far from here are going to be 3 players down. Realizing that the push is coming from all sides, it's going to be a frag fest. And there's no doubt about it as Creepery and Raymond finish off this round. Not from here. Now, all even.
Yep, it is all even, it is all equal, it is going to be kids' dorms. This is going to be an interesting one to say the least here, Creedy, as we have seen the defenders win this one out. It came down very close towards the end, potentially a bait if we do see this clash come out again. We've seen a Maestro prick, come on, give us the 6th pick. Yes, there we go, there she is. The clash is being brung. The walking shield, she caused so much damage to the opposition in terms of time wasted, in terms of just being oppressive, and she is such an oppressive operator in this game, Creedy. And with that being the case, I mean, I just love seeing things that aren't the norm and not from here are really picking operators away from, I guess you'd say, the meta picks. And this is just something that I'm loving to see.
Yeah, and I feel not from here. Their lineup on this side, this is the last round that they won, actually, Cairo, was here itself. And it was done very, very nicely. Yet again, one of the things I'm expecting to see in Northern Shield not getting this opening pick, that's something not from here, have denied them in all the rounds that they've won so far. And maybe a couple that they haven't. But moving in from this point, we're looking at Northern Shield. What's the approach they want to take? The last one didn't work. How are they going to push for this? I'm looking at an Armory big window push. I feel like they're just going to brute force it. They're going to overpower this clash by numbers, and the same with Tones as well. Tones definitely feeling the pressure right now, realizes that you're in a tough spot. What I want to see, if you're playing a player in that and you have an Aruni, is that hatch should be open. Right now, Tones is stuck, and Encrypts is dead, Cairo. The opening pick of the Aruni taken away in the P10 Roni you talked about. No longer going to have that big impact. And the buck is down below.
Yeah, the Buck down below probably trying to catch off the Clash. Something that we need to say is Buck is always considered to be really good for soft destruction, and I mean, especially when it's frag grenades, it was always really good for, I guess, top-down vertical pressure. But he needs to be used a lot more for bottom-up. We don't see it enough, especially on maps like Villa. We actually saw the LATAM teams do it really well on Cafe when they combined it with a Lion. So this is something I like to see. They're putting pressure in dynamic ways, and I have to give real good commendations to Northern Shield here, and they seem to be going for a big window take as the Flores drones do start their ingression in towards site and start their, I guess, carpet bombing.
Yes, and they are badly needed, because what we did catch, thanks to our wonderful observer Uzi, or unnamed gamer I believe, is that the Ghost Shield has been able to rotate that utility around, and the Ghost Shield will be able to just push them out, but Airdan will be refragged out thanks to Tones with the 416. Wanted to head down below and causing a lot of pressure, but Raptors down, and it's only Stavo actually on the site right now. This might not be going the way that Not From Here want. How are they going to get this to work out? Well, only one way to find out. The push is going to come through. Tones is taken away by Raymond, and Aggro shuts it down, and Northern Shield, a very comfortable push in. They pinched the Clash. They isolated the Roamers, and the players of the defense that would not stick together, Cairo.
Yeah.
And that was Not From Here, definitely giving Northern Shield that advantage to get that lead, get that opening round, and return into the bottom floor. What's going to be the change that we see?
This is an interesting. I think. Right, hear me out. I say you change your whole setup, and by that I mean they've really invest heavily into the roam, putting reinforcements all the way up in attic. I say you change that and just go for a standard turtle setup for bottom floor. That would be my suggestion, but obviously what Not From Here decide to do is up to them. I really hope they don't embody the Jose Mourinho style where you just always stick to your I guess your system of play, but it looks as if that is going to be the case, as we do see Raptor is the one going above and starting reinforcements. Oh, Creedy, I can easily see Northern Shield manipulating this site in their favour.
Yeah, I feel like the momentum from the early round has definitely gone now, and Northern Shield have started to pick it up. Score looks very close, but 3 rounds in a row are in favour of Northern Shield so far, and Not From Here. They've struggled. I mean, Tones is the only player that has been really stepping up frag-wise on this map, and as much as I've been enjoying it, it's been a pleasure to watch them play. Well, there's a big problem there, because as we saw the last time on this site, if you're able to take away that player, that huge fragging presence, that early on into the round, suddenly you're going to struggle. That's why they go for this juggle around of their resources that you see, Cairo, that Rome hasn't been committed to, for the exact reason you didn't want to see it. They lost out on it very quickly, and Tones is looking to take the gunfight, but you can't get too aggressive. So you're back down the stairs, you're waiting it out, and you're looking to help Encrypt on in that blue bunker position. You have Raptor over towards pillars, they can help out, but now the big problem is the vertical control is in favor of Northern Shield. They can open these hatches, they have got a lot of map within that first minute, and the question is, are they in a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario? Are Northern Shield going to make this a 4-2 split on attack? Or are we going to see a 3-3?
Well, I mean, anything could be the case here on this map of Oregon, because I mean everything's viable at the moment in terms of who wins what. Usually before we'd be sitting here thinking, well, we're just waiting for the defenders to get their picks, and I don't know why I suddenly have a Northern Irish accent, but we're waiting for the defenders to get picks, and then once they get the picks, it'll come down to the last 20 seconds and they win the game. What? Depending on how the frags go, they win the game. But now we're actually seeing all viability on this site, or on every site, I'd say.
I wonder, was that you trying to do an American accent but going Northern Irish? No,
it was meant. I don't even know what the accent was. We'll go by it. Please go by it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Aggro's able to find a kill in the freezer, and this is going to open things up in a massive way. Why? because Creeper is now able to drop in lobby, in laundry, and now we're seeing a split push coming through. Tones is able to find their 10th kill, getting that 2 KD at the moment, as Raptor C4 goes out. Doesn't get triggered. The gunfight is coming out as C4 detonation right now would have been great, but it's already been shot. BT is able to find a kill. Creeper will be taken off the board by the 3 versus 4. Time is ticking down, and Northern Shield have to push. The Yokai's going to get taken away, and Air Dam gets down, and Aggro, he's going to get the revive, so it's not that big of a deal until you look at the time. Time is getting down low, and while Encrypt is focusing on Bunker, it's only a matter of time before they rotate around. Right now, 30 seconds left on the clock. Not from here, looking to make this their 3rd round and get a 3-3 split. Northern Shield still have to push. The Yokai is going to do the damage. Hacker going to be taken away with that go and with that Yokai blast, but it's going to be Raptor to get the kill. VT finds Hacker, and now Aggro all on their lonesome. 13 seconds, feeling the pinch, finding Raptor, but doesn't have the time. You go for a 2nd kill. Encrypt is down, but VT finds that frag, and a 3-3 split is on the cards, Cairo.
3-3 split is what's going to be on the cards, but now we ask the question of what is going to be the split on defense. The defense is a completely different dynamic. We're flipping the roles. We're asking the questions of, right, what are you going to do now? How are you going to attack your other team? How are you going to react to their style of play? Because let's be honest, when you come down to attack and defense, how many times do you see turtle setups from aggressively from teams that attack very aggressively and very loosely? So this is something that's going to be really interesting from these two teams as to how they do that. And flashing a Chanka on the bottom already really shows the mind games that Northern Shield are ready to play.
That is a very scary thought, because you got to remember that this is Northern Shield's map, and going on to the defense, they are going to be quite comfortable doing it. But I say with these impacts, with these operators, there's going to be a strong presence on the roaming and taking these gunfights. Northern Shield, overall as a team, have performed better. And as much as not from here have given me a really good game to watch, I've really enjoyed it. You can't look at the stats and tell me I'm wrong. As a team, they have not performed mechanically in the same way. VT and Raptor, those couple of kills have been picked up in the last 2 rounds or so. And a lot of the work's been on Tones. Northern Shield overall, they're probably wanting to take these gunfights. Look at the operators they have. Bandit, Maestro, Malusi, and Jaeger. These are the guns that you take if you want to play aggressive. And Castle's only here so that they can funnel the attackers into certain positions. Very reminiscent of an SSG Roam is coming out from Northern Shield. And I think that Northern Shield, they're only going to run away with this. I have to be honest, while that was a good round from the attackers last round, I don't see this side switch going favorably.
Yeah, I don't see it going favourably either. I have to totally agree, but something I don't see going favourably is actually opening that hatch up. The super shotty struggling there, but that's nothing that we need to worry about just now. What we need to worry about is what NFH's plan is, and what it is they're going to enter in through this big tower area and then trying to convert this into more map control, which they will need to do and deal with when we come down to meeting. They have got information, they know where one of the players are, they've got rid of the bandit battery they needed to get rid of, so there we go, we are beginning the breach, and it will be Hacker. I don't know if he actually did he trick that? Because the wall hasn't been opened.
I'm not really sure. What I am sure of is that Raptor's able to find that opening kill, and in doing so, Bandit's taken away off the board. That C4's gone, but the MP7 is taken away. It is a lethal weapon, and in the hands of even a player like Hacker, who hasn't had a great time right now, still can cause a lot of problems. Erdan, though, will find a kill onto VT. The Maverick gone. It's gonna be down to Ace to open up that meeting wall, and with only one Selma left, well, one Selma got gone. It's been a long day, Kara. I do have to say that. 2 Selmas are left. And while you can open a hatch for 2 Selmas, the question is where else? You have to be very selective. You have a hard breach gadget in the form of the Zero, but where are you going to use that? You don't have a lot, and with a minute left and the amount of utility left to deal with, Maestro cameras, Banshees, Castle barricades, Cairo. A minute on the clock just doesn't seem like enough time. the Reteros, they will come down, and Erdan will be looking for another kill. Will not be able to land it at the moment, but that's okay. Raptor's just going to walk downstairs. 45 seconds left. You got to be pushing on site, and knowing that there is a player above, get everyone going down there. You know it's a 4 versus 3 on site, and Encrypts will be pushing down. Erdan's able to find another kill, though. Tones taken away. The Flores has been deadly silent on the attack in this first round, and as Raymond finds Raptor, a 2 versus 4 with 25 seconds left.
Yeah, there is only 20 seconds left, and very shortly we are going to hit mission critical. They are looking down highway. They know there's a player down that way. It is aggro, and we're waiting for him to get aggro. He picks up one. Raymond picks up the second with that MP5. Northern Shield take the advantage. They go 4-3 up. And now, Creedy, with that being the case, they have proved to us that they can win the bottom floor, but the thing is, they need to prove to us if they can win this top floor. They need to get a perfect rotation if they want to go to this match point that is, I mean, what every team wants to hit. You want to hit match point and put as much pressure on your opponents to ask the question of, can you actually make a comeback? How is your mental? How is your bottle? Has it crashed, or are you stable?
That was a lot of metaphors, but I am here for it, Cairo. I am loving it. But yes, like you say, Northern Shield, you can win that bottom floor defense, but how can you win the top floor? Now, a big thing in that last defense was slowing down the attackers, keeping them up in that top floor as long as possible, worrying about the roamers, and then it just came down to getting the one-on-one engagements. How is that going to translate onto a site like Kid Storms? Well, you don't have that vertical play to work with. That vertical element is essentially gone. Unless you want to play for C4s, and while you can, the operators you have don't really necessitate that. Aggro on the Mutant, Creepy on the Goyo. We're looking for a much more default hold of this. You're expecting to see players like Erdan and Raymond. They're going to be on the roam, if anything. But I don't really expect to see much of that. I think Northern Shield, they'll just say, right, we'll play a default game. It's default for a reason. Let's do this. Because we're good. We are going to see an Armory hold, and to be honest, that has also switched into default this position. But here's something I did talk about last time we were here, and not from here, we're defending this. That Armory rotate, that has just been made. The hatch has been popped, and suddenly, Cairo, that Armory position just became a lot nicer as a defender to hold.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with Armory, it can be a real blockade for these attackers to try and alleviate the position of any player that is in nearby. Obviously, that stun will signal that there is a player in by there. We're waiting to see if the frag grenade can pick up Raymond, and it can't, so it gets even more worrying, especially when you're getting frags like that. That is potentially your mission done, because you've picked up the Zofia. That is the soft breach done, but Raymond is persistent. Stavo is able to pick up the mute, and the only thing lost there is a C4 and potentially a man to hold down a position. All in all, this is looking very good so far.
Yes, but not if you're the player of not from here, although another kill is going to help you out. You clear out Armory, but a minute has just ticked off the clock, and that Maverick needs to be over towards that big tower, needs to be doing something a little bit more meaningful at this point, and as harsh as that sounds, it is the case. Utility and trophy will be used. The frag grenades will be taken away, I believe, although there aren't any actually. So that ADS has just been burnt, and nothing's going to be able to do anything about it, unfortunately. Not from here. Well, what's left on the board? You are going to be rotating to Big Tower. You can open it up with that 0, but Creeper is going to be an issue. Regardless of where you're pushing. Over towards that trophy, over towards the attic, that Vector, or Cactor, as some in the esteemed T4 EU community call it, which I think is quite nice, actually. That's a pretty good way to call it. But that's the situation you're in. You have a Maverick, you have a Hard Breach gadget, you can open up meeting the wall, but with a minute left, you're giving away a position. That is a very audible noise, as you've just heard, and while Stavo is pushing up, can put a crossfire onto Creepery. The angle that you need to do it puts you right in the line of sight of Dan. Time is ticking down, and Northern Shield, they're not in a great position to be using that time. So they're in a great position to be using that time. Sorry, it's not from here, confusing me a little bit with the time. Doesn't matter. Creepery is not confused, and the C4 going through is going to save a bit more time. You know the push has to come through. You go for the swing. The frag grenade goes out, and that's why Creepery doesn't die. But he is going to be taken away from that. Erdan using the angle to find one kill. Gets it down onto Encrypt as well. 20 seconds left on the clock in Northern Shield. They know exactly where the push is coming. No breaches are open. You're going to have to run in. Savo jumps outside. Doesn't have the diffuser, so why are you going? Tones just pushes in. Kills Savo. That's the diffuser gone. You didn't pick it up. You can't plant it down. And you will be taken away by Airdan, having a beautiful round. And honestly, the question for me is, where did that go wrong? And while Cairo is just taking some notes, because there's a lot to note down about that round, honestly, I'm looking at Creepery, such a delaying factor. While, yes, you peaked to get the C4, to get the kill and trophy, you should have died, but you're just lucky VT had a frag grenade out. Or it was, you still died. But at that point, it was enough time for Airdan to take up that such powerful position and just look down the attic. Just get the kills, just take them out, and not from here. Without that second prong to the attack, they just fell apart, Cairo. One round from match point. Northern Shield could close it.
It's just heartbreaking, man. But the thing is, though, as we look forward to this tertiary site, we as casters, the first point we make when we think a tertiary site is, right, as an attacker, you should be thinking, this is ours. This is the one that we take. This is the one that we should be able to displace defenders and actually win it out. But it isn't as easy as, right, tertiary site, we win. You have to do the right things. You have to do what needs to be done in terms of gaining the shower control. Oh, sorry, I should start. Gain small tower control. Gain control of shower corridor. Then put pressure in towards the shower area, the actual area.
5 seconds left.
Consolidate this by making sure no one can come from the security corridor, and then after that you can think about the plan. But the thing is, though, there's still lots of things that can go wrong in these positions. For instance, someone decides, you know what, I'm going to walk down shower corridor and peek. I don't know how many times it's happened to me in ranked Prairie. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about how many gunfights I've lost because that's happened, because, let's be honest, I am a caster. I do not win gunfights. It's not in my job description. So, I
have casted you, so as much as I kind of want to argue against that, I don't really think I can. I love you, Cairo. I do. As much as I joke, I do love you, okay?
Yeah. Oh, man, don't worry. It's just, at this point, it's just the same thing. And look at, what did I say? What did I say? Someone walks down shower corridor and peeks.
Yep. The bomb diffuser.
And that's where the Nomad ban comes in very, very effectively, because anyone can be holding that angle, but it just takes 1 second. One lapse in judgment that the air jabs just don't do, and life is made horrible. But that Shower's position can still be flushed out if VT gets his gun out in time. That's not going to happen if the Shower's player can just back up. Just get it onto safety. The Northern Shield are controlling this so far. They are in complete control. They are not uncomfortable, Cairo, and that's the big factor, because Raptor and the rest of Not From Here are going to have to start pushing soon, and while that breach will be opened up, they will be able to get in. A lot of work still needs to be done first. Airdan will find a kill onto Encrypts, and Aggro will be able to call out the push as well. Tones stuck on their lonesome. It looks like the writing is on the wall here with 1:20 left, and the attackers, they still have to make something happen. Airdan denied the ace by Aggro, taking away that final player. And that round, as it just couldn't have gone any worse for Not From Here, let's be honest.
No, it certainly couldn't have. And do you know what the worst thing about it, Creedy, is? You have pushed Northern Shield to match point. There is no margin for error. There is no way Not From Here can get away with anything. They have to do everything almost perfect on the round and make sure to win it. But there has been no round that has convinced me that they are capable of doing that so far. And that's... Listen, they may have it in the locker on other matchups, but for this specific one, I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, you've got to be critical at some points, because that's the only way teams are going to learn, and hopefully we're going to see Not From Here using this as a VOD review and see what happened, because we're looking at Northern Shield. They're not really going to change up this defensive setup. This is the one that worked. This is the one that just controlled Not From Here, and I think that is certainly how a lot of the defensive rounds have gone for Northern Shield. They have been pushing them around, when as an attacker, you just can't afford to let that happen.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm worried. and why I feel like I said in the last round, the writing might be on the wall. So a lot of the players are not from here. While they have stepped up, it hasn't been enough. I mean, Tones, since the side switch, has not got a single kill.
Yeah.
And the rest of the players, I'm looking towards Sav and Encrypts, while you are playing the supportive roles, there needs to be something a little bit more, because we go on the flip side, and we're looking at Aggro and Erdan. They're doing a lot of that fragging work. They're definitely stepping up in a massive way, and they haven't really quietened down. They've only got They've only got louder. And Northern Shield, with this SSG-esque roam, I expect to close it down. And unfortunately, that's my official prediction. I say it ends this round, Cairo.
Do you know something, Creed? I'm going to go against you. I'm going to be the anti-Creed. I'm going to say that Not From Here are going to be able to break the momentum and actually, do you know? Okay, that's fine. Not From Here. That's fine. Bro.
You say, Cairo? You're saying?
Oh no.
Attackers recovered the...
Carry on.
Right, well, I was just going to say, I was going to say that they're going to break the momentum and actually push forward, but apparently I just need to bound down to the all-being master as Hacker picks up a triple on the round, and Crips is left with it all to do, and we just have to bow down to Creedy, I guess.
Yeah, Encrypts on these north stairs. Actually doesn't realise how many attack defenders are actually upstairs, but with the hearing of it, yes, you will now, and Aggro will find that final frag, and Northern Shield, it much more dominating than Oregon, but you have to give a lot of credit to Not From Here. They put up a good game overall, especially on Kaf Dostoyevsky. That was, especially the attacking rounds, for me, that was a masterclass on how to attack Kaf and how to control it, how to comfortably attack Kaf. But Cairo, that map wasn't Kaf.
Yeah. So, the thing is though, Creedy, every map has their own unique and diverse ways of attacking, defending, even the strategy, it differs. While there is a general macro similarity, when it comes to the micro positioning, etc., is completely different. And one thing that we need to say is the good thing about this matchup so far is the fact that we as casters watched Not From Here and questioned why they were at the bottom of the table. That is a very good thing for a team to have. When the people commentating are sitting there and going, why are they down there? Why aren't they pushing towards the middle of the pack? Why aren't they higher up the stable? So that in itself says to me that these guys definitely have a lot in their locker, and I'm excited to see what they have potentially next season, because they are kind of stuck at the bottom no matter what happens in the next playdate.
Yeah, unfortunately they're not in a position where they can really qualify for those playoffs, but they still do have next week's games to watch. But for me, I have to agree, honestly, their CAF game, that was very well played. Their attacking side was very strong, and while it's true that stats don't lie, they often don't tell the full story, and I feel like that is the case. They have a lot of positives going for them. Their coordination when they've rehearsed something is very good. And when they know what they're up against, think about those CAF attacks where you have to have a rehearsed game plan in place on CAF, otherwise you just fail. You fall flat on your face. I feel like this is a great opportunity for them to really learn from this. I mean, look at CAF, look at what went well and why it went well. And then look towards Oregon and some of the rounds you lost on CAF and apply the same philosophy of what went right for the other team. I feel like there's so much potential from Not From Here that I'm very excited to see what they have in store in the future. On the side of Northern Shield, though, they've been living up to the statistical side of things. They're up towards that very top, and they are set to qualify for those playoffs. It's going to be very difficult for them not to at this point. So I'm looking forward to them. I want to say congratulations to them, most importantly, because they're pretty much guaranteed at this point. But for all the players in the moment, have a look towards Northern Shield. This is what you're up against. And for players that are looking to get into maybe teams like Not From Here, this is a great opportunity to see what works against Northern Shield as well, if you're going up against them in the playoffs. But Cairo, that is it from us, isn't it?
Well, that's unfortunately it. We don't have any more VODs in the stop for us to cast over Creedy. We'd love to do it all night, but I mean, myself, I want to go and watch Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know about yourself. I've been talking about it all night. I've been getting myself hyped up for it, and now I'm an inch away from seeing Captain Jack Sparrow. But with that being the case, we do have to say goodbye to our Canadian friends. And well, I've been Cairo, and this has been the wonderful and amazing McCready. We have had excess on the production. She has been absolutely killing it this past week. Make sure to go and give her some love on Twitter. But this has been CCL R6S, and make sure to give us any follows, anything like that, our way, and keep up to date with what's going on. Have a good night. God bless.